video is going to show you a little more about Aleks, your specific class in here at Hondros. So I'm just going to enter student view. And this is going to happen the very first time you log in. You're going to go through some tutorials. So make sure you do read through the tutorial slides. This way you know where things are and how to access them. So you're going to get some little pop-ups that show you bits about your screen and what you're looking at. So if we get started here, the tools tutorial, it'll teach you how to use the different tools in the answer boxes here in Aleks. So you want to make sure, if you can't see this down here, it's a little next button. You want to make sure you go through this and learn how to use these different types of tools so that your answers are formatted correctly. Okay, and once you're done, you'll get a little congratulations screen. So it says you've unlocked your initial knowledge check. So this is your first, it's like a pre-test. You won't be graded on this. This test will be used to see what you do and do not already know. So please be very honest on this test. If you Google all the answers on this test, it thinks you already know all this information and it's not going to teach you anything. Then you'll still see the information on tests and quizzes. So you want to make sure you're honest, and if you don't know something, click I do not know. This way it will show up in your learning path. So again, little tutorial, get started. And again, it shows you bits about the screen here. Start knowledge check. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I'm sorry. And you'll see over here there's a calculator. This calculator sometimes does and does not show up, but you are allowed to use a non-graphing, non-scientific calculator. So even if it doesn't show up on the screen, you are allowed to use a non-graphing, non-scientific calculator. So we'll see if 182 works. Oh, I don't think it checks as you go. No, you won't know the right or wrong answers until the very end. I'm not sure it actually shows you the right or wrong answers. You'll just go to the end. So now see, notice there's no calculator. 5 over 6 divided by 9, we would multiply by 1 over 9. So that's 1 over 6 times 9 is what, 54? And we'll pretend I don't know this. Oops. That's fine. If you've never seen it before, don't try and look it up, because we want to make sure you see the actual learning pages in the learning path so you can learn it. 3/5 is what? 0.6, so that'd be 60%. And I'm sure I can use the percent on my keyboard, but I'll just use this one. But okay, so I'm going to stop there. So notice on this one, your calculator did show up. So only because I'm the instructor do I have this skip knowledge check. You will not have that on your screen, but I'm going to go ahead and skip it. And it says, nice job, here's your results. So I picked a moderate knowledge. It says I've mastered 50 out of 112 topics. The shaded regions show what you know. So the colored would be what you don't know. And continue. This gives you a little breakdown of topics you will see in your learning path. And this talks a little bit about the page. And then you can go and see your timeline view. So make sure you read through these. This tells you what you're working toward. So if I click Start My Path, I'm still in the week 1 objective. 6 out of 21 means my knowledge check has eliminated 6 topics. Through my knowledge check, it showed I already knew 6 of the 21 topics. And it shows me a due date. And here you will see milestones. So if I click Start My Path, it's going to put me into my week 1 topics. Now, some of you your knowledge check may show you know all your week 1 topics, and it'll put you into week 2. So if it skips you into a further week, that means you already know the previous weeks, and you'll get 100% on those weeks. So click Start My Path, and the first page that comes up will be a learning page. So once you've read through this and understand the example, you hit Start, and then it'll give you problems pertaining to that example. And so you'll have to answer so many problems correctly to show that you've mastered. So if you answer like 1 or 2 correct and then you miss one, you might have to ask a few more. Let's see, 25 and 34, that's what, -11. That's going to be 6, -99. Now here you can check. Oops, I got one wrong. Oh, that's not 11. That'd be what, -9. And this keeps track of your correct and incorrect. So I want to show you a little more about this. This button right here is what we call the hidden menu. Well, first let me show you this. Okay, so we're in the week 1. If I click on this arrow, this we call the carousel, and it's going to show the topics I still have to learn for week 1. So you might be able to skip topics. It depends. If you see this lock, you won't be able to go to that until you complete something else first. But if you see these first few, they're not locked. So I could skip to different topics that are not locked. So now, say I wanted to do add and subtract with 3 integers. I click that, and then I click down here. Brings me to a learning page, and then if I click Start, I get problems. Okay, so back to this menu. This is what we call the hidden menu. If you open it up, you have a bunch of different options here. So I just wanted to show you that. So the options that you might want to use, I'm going to go ahead and do separate videos for. So once you have answered enough questions correctly in a row, you'll see it'll congratulate you, and it'll say I have 14 topics left in my objective goal, which my objective was the week 1 objective. So I have 14 more topics to complete my week 1 homework. So I click continue on my path. And I can skip to more different ones if I want, or just pick up on the next problem. Also take note on your explanation page, sometimes it will give you the option for another explanation just in case you don't understand the first explanation. And then also when you get to your problems, you'll have an explanation option here. And also you have other resources on your problem pages. You can email the instructor, look at the dictionary, look at the ebook, watch videos. So once you have completed an objective, it congratulates you, gives you a little more information. I've reached my week 1 goal, so that means I'm done with my week 1 homework. So remember, if you started and you weren't in the week 1, then that means you've already completed the week 1 with your initial knowledge check. But if you were in week 1, you would go through it and it'll tell you when you complete it. And if you click on continue on my path, you'll go right into week 2. But if we go ahead and go to our home screen, it will show you're working towards week 2. So if maybe you had to do 1, but you did everything in 2 according to your knowledge check, so maybe you don't even have to do week 2, and this will say working toward week 3 or what have you. So that's just a little bit about our class, and like I said, these menu items, I'll go ahead and make a couple of videos showing you what these are all about. Thanks for watching.